Hi friends, nice to see you again. As you know, my name is Father Antonio Fiorenza. I am a Rogationist priest. But this time I have a surprise for you. Together with me there is another Rogationist father, Father John Bruno. I would like to introduce him. We can say that he is an expert in some way on Luisa Piccarreta. Many years ago, I think 21 years ago, he gave a talk on Luisa Piccarreta during a congress of the Divine Will. And I have some question to ask for Father John. Father John, when it was the first time that Father Hannibal did meet Luisa Piccarreta?
Well, from what I read, the first time was like 1910, but then in 1912 he became kind of the spiritual director of Luisa, and he continued being in touch with her, encouraging her to write her visions until Father Hannibal's death, which was June 1st, 1927.
And so, Father John, more or less, for how many years did Father Hannibal accompany her?
Well, if it's 1910, 20, it would be 17 years.
17 years.
He was the one who asked her to write the, how do I say it in English, I think, the Clock of the Passion in 1917.
Father Hannibal took care of this book and published it.
And published it. In the process of beatification of Father Hannibal, the postulator had to answer a question, how come the book of the Passion was kind of condemned by the Holy See? And the answer that the postulator gave, the one condemned was not the one that Father Hannibal approved.
Another edition.
Was another edition of one of the confessors, Father Calvi. He said, well, the one Father Hannibal published is not complete like Luisa wrote it, and so he added a lot of things that Father Hannibal had taken out.
Very good.
And that is why he was condemned. That's the answer the postulator for Saint Hannibal gave to the Holy See.
By the way, about Father Hannibal as confessor and spiritual director of Luisa Piccarreta, Father John, we know that Luisa had many private revelations. What was the opinion of Father Hannibal about the private revelations of Luisa Piccarreta? If I'm not wrong, your talk at the Divine Will Congress was just this one.
Yes, well, Father Hannibal is a great love and respect of the revelation of Luisa, but in different letters also gave her instruction of how to interpret the revelation, and in different letters we could see kind of a guidance that he gave to her and to us. For example, that private revelations can also be mistaken. not because God gives a mistaken revelation, but the person who receives them might not understand them rightly and completely.
A wrong interpretation.
A wrong interpretation. And then, so he wrote to her in these letters. He had kind of, toward the end of his life, he wrote a lot of letters to Luisa before he had more personal contact.
What I know, sorry the interruption, Father, what I know is that Luisa wrote 76 letters and Father Hannibal 70 letters in answer to Luisa.
Well, they have published also in English some of the letters of Saint Hannibal to Luisa. When I gave the conference, it was in Rome, Georgia. I had the letters that were published in Italian, but then they had the translation. So in this letter we could see different things. As I said, the first thing that private revelation could be mistaken because the human channel who receives the revelation might not completely understand them. Another thing that he wrote in this letter is also that not all private revelation should be published, because sometimes people interpret them in a way that do not fulfill the full meaning of the message. They get into details which are not very important, and they make them as the main teaching instead. So the founder gave her the instruction not all revelation should be published.
Maybe, Father, it was just what was happening with Luisa Piccarreta at that time, no?
Yeah, well, the thing at that time, the Holy See was not very kind on people who had private revelations. So in 1938, they took all her books and letters and revelation, took them to the Holy See. But at the same time, they did the same thing for Sister Faustina Kowalska.
Even with Father Pio, the Holy See was very strict.
Father Pio, he was suspended around that time from saying public masses.
Yeah.
So the Holy See, he wanted to help the believer, yes, listen to private revelation, but first of all, listen to the public revelation of the Church and the Apostles. They should have the priority. And also one mistake we could do is that we pay so much attention to private revelation that we do not pay attention to the example of the saints, how they live the gospel. So one of the things Father Hannibal told Luisa, private revelation are good, but for your spiritual life, for our spiritual life, the example of saints is more important. They can help us and direct us on how to understand the gospel and how to live the gospel.
According what you know, Father John, which kind of suggestion you can give us today about the interpretation of the writings, of the mystical experience of Luisa Piccarreta?
Well, like I could say what our founder said, Saint Hannibal. It sounds strange, but he wrote that at the end of his life, he left all his work behind and concentrated on this private revelation of Luisa. And you say, is that possible that he left all the works because he thought that the divine will was fundamental in our Christian life? And there is a story that once he visited Pope Pius X, Saint Pius X, and he started presenting to him some of the revelation, And Pope Pius X says, this is sublime writing, we should kneel and listen attentively to them, which is not something public that the Pope would do that. So he thought they were very important, but he cannot be taught that the teaching of the Church is sole present in private revelations. So we should love them and accept them, but be careful. For example, I saw on the internet, why do they say that divine will is more important of the Eucharist? Well, I don't know, I hope nobody said that.
Not Luisa Piccarretta said this.
Not Luisa Piccarretta and not...
maybe some follower.
Some follower. Well, I mean, there was, in the beginning, there was a group who kind of interpreted Piccarretta in the wrong way, which separated themselves from the movement, but many of them came back to interpret correctly what Luisa was saying.
Thank you so much, Father Gian. Maybe you can give a talk in some congress or retreat of Divine Will. Do you want to add something else?
I think one thing that probably the devote of Luisa would love to hear, that one of the priests of the Diocese of Trani wrote a letter and said that in the history of the Church, many times saints come in too. And so he said, for example, there is Saint Francis de Sales, also had Saint Jane Francis. Saint Teresa of Avila also had Saint John of the Cross. Saint Vincent de Paul also had Saint Louis de Marillac. And so he concluded, and we could say that Luisa Piccarretta are a pair that they can complement each other and could help the followers of this movement understand it better if they join the two together.
Thank you so much, Father Gian, for stressing this point, because it was just the content of my previous message to these people.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Our best wishes for your retreat, and hopefully see you next time.
Thank you.